Joining us today for Primetime Local News is media host and author Freddy Cruz. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Freddy.
Hey, Shelby, it's great to see you. Thank you.
Of course, because you got a interesting novel in the works here that's been released. Allow Me to Ruin Your Christmas, it's called. So it already sounds like it's pretty interesting. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Absolutely. This book is definitely not for the feel good, happy go lucky fan of warm, fuzzy Christmas time movies and TV shows. This is the polar opposite. This was something that was born out of a desire to kind of just go rogue for a little bit. You know, I was on a podcast interview a few weeks ago, and the host had said something to the effect of, Freddie, I kind of get where you're coming from because Christmas, as great as it is, it's all this build up and building up and building up and building up and going and shopping for presents and making the cookies and making the homemade stews and whatnot, and it's all for one day. And then what do you do on that one day? And then the one day just flies by. And so I was like, yeah, it's kind of sort of like that. Maybe it's a bit of a projection on my part. When I first started writing the book, uh, it was it was in July of last year, and there were the Christmas in July movies on some of the cable network channels, and I was like, you know what? I think there's something I can work with, and I just kind of let my imagination take me to a really strange place, and that's how we ended up with the book.
Well, it sounds like a very cool idea. I like that it kind of has, that holiday theme, but also thriller aspect to it. It's pretty like a dark Christmas kind of novel. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty intense. I think it's a nice switch up, a nice twisted story that many people, readers as well out here are probably going to really like. So it definitely sounds interesting. Now, how's that support been so far with this novel?
So far, so good. But I'm a fan of what we call. I've got a friend of mine who does public speaking. He trains public speakers, and so it's the hot and cold feedback. Hot meaning good feedback, and cold meaning, hey, you messed up here. Is what you can do better, Shelby. Right? So I'm longing for some cold feedback. I cannot wait. One of my favorite authors, Jack Carr, has he hosts a podcast, and one of the things that he does every now and again is read his 1-star reviews, and I would love to eventually get to where I get so many reviews that I can make an entire podcast episode or YouTube video out of really creative 1-star reviews. That would be great. I mean, I'm not asking to be hated on. I'm just saying that, hey, I'm ready for a really creative sounding. Maybe if there's someone out there who says, this book, rah, 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 come my way.
Yeah, and it's great to know how open you are with criticism. A lot of people are going to leave some ridiculous comments every now and then. So it's good to know that you are excited to be able to read those and kind of help share them and laugh it off and, sometimes take that important feedback if you like it. Now, what can you say readers can expect? And I know you were already kind of explaining what it's all about, but what can you say readers can expect with this story? Kind of like a message you're hoping that they get out of this after they read it.
Absolutely. By the end of the story, I want you feeling bad for the person whose demise you were cheering for. I created some really complex characters, and backing up a little bit, the story is written first person present from the perspectives of the two main characters. So one character being Beckett, who is a early 20s. I feel like I should know, as the author, I feel like I should know his age, but he's a college kid who catches his favorite podcaster who is in his 40s. His name is Lex. Catches Lex in his home with his mother, and it all cascades from there,
Mhm.
and finds out that Lex was involved in the death of his father. And so it's a comedy of misfortunes for everybody involved. um, Lex's wife ends up getting brought into the mix, and yeah, everything devolves from the moment that Beckett found out that Lex was involved with the death of his dad. And yeah, it was interesting to see where I let my flow state kind of lead me. There's some twists and turns, and again, it's one of those things where I want the reader to really question whose demise they were rooting for.
And for people wanting to check out your work, with this new novel as well, and just kind of look a little bit more into Freddy Cruz yourself, where can people look online to just find more information?
You can catch up with me. I'd love to hear your feedback, hot or cold. I love connecting with people who have taken the time to read my work, whether it's Allow Me to Ruin Your Christmas or if it's any of the other two books that I've read or a podcast. I love the feedback, and I appreciate the time that they have taken out of their busy schedules to engage with something that I created. So thank you, and I would look forward to hearing from anybody.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Freddie.
All right, Shelby, thank you.